DeMarcus Cousins recently got waived by the Houston Rockets. Before he got waived, the Houston Rockets did guarantee his contract. So that was a good deed for their sake and for both sides. It was good that they did that. And right now, what team could he really go to? The Lakers have reported that they don't really want DeMarcus Cousins. The Nets, I don't think bringing in Cousins because he doesn't help out what they need the most. And on James Harden's way out, he kind of did this James Harden. And before getting fully in depth into this topic, I will say this. DeMarcus Cousins called out James Harden for not giving the team a chance. And then the team is not giving you a chance and waiving you. And one guy was there for 8 seasons and broke his back for the city of Houston and is still doing good deeds for Houston, while the other guy in Cousins just got there and wanted to act like he was a leader of the team or something. That's why when it first happened, you got to relax. James Harden has a right to want out because he's done everything possible and they have still come short. And now, 2 months later, DeMarcus Cousins is waived. But regardless, he was cleared off waivers, and there was a report that he was unhappy playing behind Christian Wood, and Cousins clapped back and said that report is a lie. The Heat have been reported to have interest in DeMarcus Cousins, the Celtics as well. This season, he's averaging 9 points and 8 rebounds, basically shooting 37% from the field and 33% from the three. Me personally, I don't think DeMarcus Cousins could help a contending team. He could go to Boston and it could help out their bench depth, but do I look at DeMarcus Cousins as some guy that's going to, wow, that was a great move for that team to make? No, I think he's passed out already. Not only do I think he's not going to reach his all-star level play that he once had, I don't think he'll reach that again, but right now, I'm not even certain if he can become a reliable every night 6 man for a team because his pick and roll defense is so bad. Like, he's never been a good defender. Even when he was putting up 25 and 12 in Sacramento, he was never a good defender. Where is he going to go now? You know?
Yeah, you said a lot of what I wanted to hit on. This might sound a bit harsh, but I don't know that there's any contending team in the league that DeMarcus Cousins can be a really, like, even a 15-minute per game guy. Like, I don't know if he can give that to any contending team and help out that much. And it sucks because he's just had misfortune. He went from being the best center in the league, I think, by a pretty good margin a couple of years ago. And now, just because of injuries, his career has been derailed. But you said it. He was not a great defender in Sacramento. So now, but you could deal with that because he was putting up 25 and 12. He was a great offensive player. He could rebound. You know, he really did it all for you offensively, and he could carry the load offensively. But now he can't do that anymore. So he's not only is he not as good offensively, he's not as good of an athlete. He's slowed down because of the injuries. He still can't defend. So I don't know what he's really providing. What's his specialty? Because that's what he would essentially have to be now, as a specialty guy off the bench, a role player. But what role does he play? You said the Nets, and the Nets are probably more in need of a big man than anybody in the league at this point in the season. And I don't want him as a Net fan because he doesn't do anything that the Nets need. He doesn't rebound great. He doesn't defend the pick and roll well. So I don't see where he fits in the current NBA, and it's really sad to have to say that because just 3 years ago he was an elite player.
He's had some bad luck, not only with the injuries, but also when he went to Golden State, he basically signed with Golden State to ring chase, and they didn't even end up winning the championship that year because injuries derailed that run, and Toronto ended up beating them. Hopefully, DeMarcus Cousins figures it out, but I just don't see any team that he can help that can contend right now. The thing is, when you're a veteran like that, it's hard to pick what team he can potentially go to because the winning teams, they're looking for specialty guys to fill certain roles, and DeMarcus Cousins doesn't check off that box for a lot of teams. For the younger teams or teams that suck, they don't want him because it doesn't it doesn't go in cahoots with the timeline that they're in right now. They're trying to get younger. You look at Cleveland. They're not even playing Andre Drummond because they want Jared Allen to play. They're not even playing JaVale McGee. So he doesn't match bad teams' timeline.
Yeah.
The only teams I can see him going to are Miami because they need a spark somewhat, but even now they're figuring it out. And Boston because they have no bench whatsoever. But when you have guys like Tristan Thompson and Daniel Tice, who would DeMarcus Cousins play over? You know, because Tristan Thompson brings defense and rebounding, and Tice brings somebody who's a stretch big. So it would be really hard to play Cousins more than him. I don't know. I think right now the best fit would be, or the best place for him to go would be Boston. But there aren't many teams that he can go to that I say, oh, that's a good fit.
Yeah, and one of the things you hit on was even going to a bad team, he doesn't really fit well. He's never been a high character guy. He's never been a great locker room guy. So, you know, he can't be one of those guys who now transforms his career into being that veteran that hops from locker room to locker room, helping teams out. Like, I mean, the first guy that comes to mind is Jared Dudley. That guy could be on an NBA bench until he's 50 years old because he's just a great veteran presence to have around, whether it's breaking down film, you know, helping out younger guys develop, whatever it may be. I don't think DeMarcus Cousins can be that. So now it's like his play isn't there, and he's not going to be a great locker room guy. Where does he fit? He doesn't fit with a winning team that needs one more piece. He doesn't fit with a losing team that's trying to get younger and develop young talent. So he's just at a crossroads where, be it because of injuries or whatnot, he doesn't fit anywhere in the current league, and it's unfortunate.
And you mentioned it. He doesn't, well, to this point, his reputation has not been a good locker room presence. It's been a guy who does receive texts, and if anything, on that side of the game, in terms of locker room presence, he's more of a detriment than an addition. And just thinking about it now, he went to Golden State to ring chase. They don't win a ring. He went to L.A. He got cut, and they won a ring. So he went to two teams back-to-back that had a chance to win the championship. Lakers won, but he wasn't on the team. I mean, he's had some bad luck. Hopefully he does figure it out, but we'll see what happens